Brothers, and I'm one of the spiritual leaders here. And this is our, I think, fourth Sunday online. So welcome and thank you for joining us earlier, if you did, for the Unity House Party, we call it. And now I'm just delighted to introduce Layla Murphy and Johannes Murphy and that young man, Kaleem, who is going to do our sing-along for the very first few parts of the service, and then we'll begin.
You have the stream.
Everybody
Good morning. You have the stream.
Oh.
Yeah,
Everyone has to be muted except for
I
us.
have the shaker.
So sing along with all your heart, and you won't be him on mic.
Good morning, everyone. I've brought my husband and son here, our one of 3 children who is available to help. We're going to do a song called We Are Drops. And it's a nice echo, so we will sing the first part and you can echo us, but we won't hear you. You're just hearing yourself at home and us. And then there's a part where we sing together where it's not an echo, but you'll catch on. All right. We are drops, we are drops of one ocean.
Of one
There we go.
ocean.
We are waves.
We are waves
Of one sea.
of one sea.
Come and join us
Come and join us
in our quest for unity.
It's we.
Try it again. We are drops
We are drops
of one ocean.
of one ocean.
We are waves
We are waves
of one sea.
of one sea.
Come and join us
Come and join us
in our quest for unity. It's a way of life for you and me. We are flowers
We are flowers
of one garden.
of one garden.
We are leaves
We are leaves
of one tree. Come and join us in our quest for unity. It's a way of life for you and me. All the
All the world
is one country.
is one country.
Humanity is one.
Humanity's one.
Can't you see?
Can't you see?
Come and join us
Come and join us
in our quest for unity.
It's a way
of life for you and me. It's a way of life
for you and me. Last time,
It's a way of life for you and me. They said it was choppy the whole time. Good job. Okay, I saw the chat that it said it was choppy. Could you hear anything? Sort of.
Yeah, we
Thank
could
you
hear
for
it. I
joining.
think
Oh, yeah.
the Zoom
Yay!
is the shaker ray is toggling something that is causing it to try to. There's something going on
I
with the
thought
music.
Shaker might do that, but we tried.
I loved
I've
it.
heard most of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've also
I
found
think a lot of the stuff, I do a lot of stuff with music, and I know that a lot of these microphones are designed for chatting. They're not designed for all the spectrums of music.
Well,
Unfortunately.
we tried. It was cute. It was cute to see
It's
a
good
young
to see
face.
everyone's shining faces. Good morning.
Wow.
Good
Have
morning.
a good unity.
Thanks
I've
for
also
joining.
found in other meetings that if some people, if we turn off the video and just have the sound on, that it can help with the bandwidth.
Can you turn off all the video at the same time?
I think everyone has to do that individually.
Well, I'm back to being a cappella, so
It's still choppy though, Layla.
Let's sing one more. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I am still choppy.
I think it's her internet because everyone else seems fine.
Yeah.
If you notice
Okay.
in the bottom corner of whoever's highlighted where their name is, so mine right now, if I'm highlighted on the screen, there's little white bars. When those are yellow, it means that that person's internet is unstable. And it's red, it means it's really bad. So when it's yellow, that indicates there's something a little off on your internet.
Okay. Why don't I try to sign back on? You guys can continue, and I'll try to sign back on.
Okay. I'll do the announcements.
Thank you.
All right. That would be great. So our announcements for today, and we have, as you already have figured out, Reverend Brian Zachary Meyer, and I'm so excited that he's here. But we have a few announcements, and despite the fact that we're closed, lots that our building is closed, lots is still happening. So first and foremost, I would say that to let you know that there is an email survey that will be going out to members this week. It's an important survey. Please respond to it. The board is absolutely committed to getting your thoughts about some of the best ways to move forward. And there is an open meeting at 1 o'clock after the service next week. That's May 3. Please put that on your calendar. And we will be in the process of beginning to make some decisions around the future of the center. So that's very important. Number 2 is Sharon is leading an online spirit circle with healing messages from Spirit on May 19th from 6 to 8 in the evening on Zoom. The event is offered on a donation basis, and the suggested donation is $12 to $20, with all of your gifts going to the Unity Center. So go to the Unity Facebook on our website or Unity Meetup and find the information on the e-news for the Zoom link for that event. Regular meetings, Course in Miracles is meeting online. If you're part of that group, contact Paris for that info, and her phone number is in the e-news. By the way, if you're not on the e-news, on our mailing list, send a request to Sharon at westlynnunity@gmail.com or check on the website. We have the men's group and the women's group both meeting this month, so please check with the group leaders for those events. The book study group, Quantum Warrior, is on hold for now, but Marilee Payne says she would be happy to lead another group if she has 4 or more interested. So let Marilee know if you're interested. We have a couple of great speakers coming up just for your calendar. We have Reverend Cheryl Mays and Reverend Christine Green, again, who did Easter for us on Mother's Day. She will be there. And you can contribute to the Unity Center through PayPal, which is a button on the bottom of the homepage of our website, www.worldhealing.org, or send a check in the mail to the Unity Center, which is at our address on the website, 20255 Willamette Drive, West Lynn, 97068. And we'll have a slide later for you to catch that information. So those are the important announcements, and let's go back to see if Layla is back here.
All right.
There you go. Thanks.
Is that a little better? Great. Thank you for your patience. So let's sing I Am So Blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Again, I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So just for those of you who have not been with us,
Oops, you're muted, Jan.
doesn't want to stay unmuted. Thank you. So for those of you who have not been with us before, and for all of us together, I just want us to come together for a moment in prayer and to recognize the truth of being, that there's one spirit, there's one power, there's one life, and that's our life, and we live inside that divine intelligence, that infinite heart, that limitless being, divine spirit, God, whatever name we give to it in all the systems, in our diverse and fascinating world, we co-create together and know that this is our life now, and we bless every person in every experience that they are going through in this extraordinary time in which we are put quite literally on pause, giving us an opportunity to get close and clear and reconnect in so many important ways, in so many important levels, to reconnect with each other, to reconnect with our soul life, our soul purpose, the infinite nature of our life. And we bless everybody and console those who are going through pain, who are suffering from this health condition or any other condition in our life that causes us a sense of fear. And let us have each of those people feel the balm, the consolation of divine mind, of divine heart, and of loving spirit. And with those words, I bless every person who's gathered here together at any hour of the day on this globe, or sitting in a forest somewhere. Every person, as they connect with their inner spirit and know the truth of our being, that there is only one. Amen. So we have a center mission, and many of you know it, and we would like to say it together every time we are together because it reminds us. So let's say together, the Unity Center is a ministry where people of all ages, backgrounds, and beliefs celebrate the one common spiritual thread that lives in every heart. Every heart. And with that, I'd like to turn it back over to Layla, who is such a wonderful musician.
Thank you. I have a flute solo to play to get us centered for our wonderful message today. So I invite you to meditate. You don't have to stare at me. Just listen and soak it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Layla. That is so beautiful. So now it's time to introduce our guest speaker today. About a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, Rabbi Brian Zachary Mayer spoke for us, and we loved having him here, and now we're going to love having him here online with us. He grew up exceedingly rational on the island of Manhattan, and his life led him to rabbinical school, where he searched for answers and struggled with the ones that he received. After ordination and working for a mainstream congregation in Los Angeles, he changed careers to become a high school mathematics teacher. And 7 years later, he followed his calling to found and run the not-for-profit Religion Outside the Box, ROTB. ROTB grounds digital seekers with reframed religious content. So, thank you for being here with us, Rabbi. We're excited to have you, and I think you're going to surprise us in wonderful ways. Thank you. Give him a hand.
Well, thank you very much. I glad to be here. I'm Rabbi Brian Zachary Mayer of Religion Outside the Box. I'm going to just take 1/2 of a moment to make sure that all of this is looking about right. Can you give me a little bit of hands if you can hear me and see me? Well, fantastic. Well, let's continue then. I'm glad that you invited me to speak with you here the 26th of April, 2020. A few notes. 1, I'll be using the words spiritual, religious, and faith somewhat interchangeably. Please make a mental substitution should I use one of them when you think I should have been using another. 2, please have a cell phone on hand and available, writing implement and paper. We will be doing some spiritual exercises and you might want to take some notes. 3, I do use a lot of quotes and I attribute all of them to the people who said them. This is nice manners. 4, if you would like a transcript of everything that I said, you don't have to take notes on everything. If you sign up for the newsletter at rotb.org, I'll be glad to send you every word that I'm saying right now. Okay. Part 1. There are 2 parts to this. Part 1, the spiritual framework. It is said that we live our lives in 4 quadrants, and I should, if I get it right, there's my slide. This physical, the intellectual, the spiritual, and the emotional. An example of the spiritual is the idea of radical amazement. That's spiritual. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, he spoke of this sense that we all have from time to time of radical amazement. The feeling we have looking at the world and taking nothing for granted. That moment where you just look and you go, wow. The spiritual quadrant also measures how comfortable we are with just being, how we deal with adversity, and how we approach growth. I am a rationalist and a universalist. I am not here to sell you on any dogma or belief system. What I want to do is shed some light on how people might live better spiritual lives, because people with more spiritual fitness connect better with others and they have an easier time with change and uncertainty, skills that we all know we need right now. I am extolling the benefits of a spiritual quadrant. There's nothing that says that to be spiritual means to be not value-free. It is implicit that we do have a sense of value. According to the philosopher Erich Fromm, the spiritual life can be broken down into 5 different elements. Let me give you an overview. The first, the one that we just spoke on right now, this hierarchy of values, that if you value love and kindness, you value that above hatred and greed. The spiritual domain also is characterized by a sense of unity, a sense of connectedness, the numinous and the holy. I will go through all of these and give much more detail to them. The third one, and if I can get my slides to get to the third one, I put them a little out of order. The third one, the second one was unity. The third one, which I put the second one, my mistake, is that it's not about me. That's part of a spiritual life, is knowing that it's not individualistic. The fourth quality of a spiritual life is that it's a sense of transformation, that there's something more important about being changed in this world than there is to our changing this world. And number 5, there's a notion that certainty is certainly less more important than discovery, learning, and uncertainty. Let me go into depth on each one. But first, I want you to think of a budget. It doesn't matter if you have a budget or not. You still have a budget. There's a relationship in your life between what you have, what you earn, and what you spend. There's a budget to everything we do. And the same could be said of our spiritual life or our religious life or of our faith life. There's a relationship between your patience, your peace, and your anger. And whether you have a formal gratitude practice or not, your gratitude practice is made up of this. If I can put my little slide up, gratitude practice is equal to your thankfulness minus the number of complaints you have. That's exactly what it looks like. Everyone has a gratitude practice, whether they know it or not. And we'll get more to that in a moment. Let me get part 2. I will be giving you tips on how to have a greater spiritual faith life. But now I want to look at each of the 5 elements in a little bit more depth. So let's go back to 1, values, a hierarchy of values. I like chocolate ice cream. My son does not. We do not argue about this. How much time he spends on the screen playing games, we argue about. A hierarchy of values means knowing there are some things that are more important and there are some things that are less important. A spiritual life is not value free. People get up in arms about injustice, but rarely is anyone outraged if someone violates the rule to never split an infinitive, as I just did. Okay, I thought that was really funny because I said to never split an infinitive as I just did. Okay, just for me, much funnier if I can hear the audience reaction, but we're going to leave this be as it is. I see some of you smiling along. I'll move on. It's important for us to have a hierarchy, to take the higher route. Aristotle said, anyone can get angry, and I have pictures of this to show you. Anyone can get angry. Where are my little pictures? They should be right there. Magic presto, change picture. Magic presto, there it is. Aristotle said anyone can be angry, but to be angry at the right person, at the right time, in the right amount, and for the right reason, that is not easy. That's a picture of a raisin at the bottom there. Anyone can be angry, but to be angry at the right person, at the right time, in the right amount, and for the right reason, that is not easy, and that's not something that everyone can do. But those who have chosen a spiritual life, who have a hierarchy of values, they know that they can't just get angry at anyone they want. We strive to be angry at the right person at the right time, in the right amount, for the right reason, and we're willing to make amends when we don't. Second quality of the spiritual life, it is not about me. Being selfish is not the path. This is not to say you shouldn't take care of yourself, but don't go overboard. There's a great 9-word phrase I heard once. It's not about me, and it's not about now. The spiritual, religious faith people know that they don't have to be right. For us have to do things right, we have to leave our egos at the door. We must be filled with humility and empathy, knowing it's not really all about me. It's about us, which leads me to number 3, unity. Unity is about connection. We have common ancestries. As we just sang, we are all flowers in the same garden. We understand we are part of something much larger, part of a much larger whole. And now more than ever, we know this to be the case. We feel the commonality of humanity. There's a great quote I like that said the people in Hawaii don't look at the water that separates them as saying the water separates them island to island, but instead they see it's the water that connects them island to island. We are all on the same team. We know that. And even those people we dislike, we know we are in it together with them. Quality number 4, transformation. Transformation is that I'm not in the world to transform it, but I'm in the world to be transformed by it. St. Paul said, it is not to be conformed to this world, but transformed by a metamorphosis of the mind. Thomas Merton is attributed to have said, if the you of 10 years ago doesn't think the you of today is a heretic, you aren't growing spiritually. This is growth, knowing that everyone and everything changes. 5, uncertainty, mystery, questions greater than statements. Carl Jung said it is the uniformity of meaning that is a sign of weakness. Rumi said, sell your cleverness and purchase bewilderment. And Werner Erhard famously said, understanding is the booby prize. Being curious, not knowing, being in mystery. Voltaire said, doubt is uncomfortable, certainty is ridiculous. Let me bring this all together in one sentence. Hopefully I can get that to come up. There it is. Oh, and I lost my camera for a second, but that's just fine. I'll put this all in one sentence, and the one sentence says this: the spiritual life is about questioning our devotion to self. It is so we can be transformed to surrender into love and to connection. And let me get back to my slides. Put that slide away. This is multimedia. This is not that easy. It's kind of fun though. I see all your faces smiling, so that makes us feel a lot more good. So let me continue. It is about transformation, the transformation of ourselves to love. Not that slide yet, but transformation is hard. Nobody likes transforming. We like having transformed. Hemingway once said, I don't like writing, I like having written. Transformation is change, and change is going from what we know to something new, and that's not comfortable. Before we go to the experiments, I want to give you a practical tool about change. I'd like to have everybody take your hands. Everyone has hands? Let me see those hands. And put your hands together like this. Interlace your fingers. Very good. This is a little experiment called Change, Why I Hate Change. Now make a little note to yourself if you have left pinky or right pinky on the bottom. Interlace under your hands and re-interlace them with the opposite pinky on the bottom. That's what change feels like. And the change and some of you are making faces. It's not comfortable, right? It's not comfortable. And the only thing that's different right now is 1 to 10 fingers, depending on how you count it. Of course, we don't like change. If we wanted to get good at change, and truly this is our mission in life, is to not be who we think we are, but to be willing to be transformed, is we need to get used to this icky feeling that we have. Okay, take your hands, unshake them, shake it out. And I'm going to give you 3 exercises about change as we go into part 2. Part 2, 3 practical spiritual tools to connect with others. Now, the full title of this section is Part 2, Practical Spiritual Tools to Connect with Others, one of which you'll be asked to try out for a week and see how it goes. This is the nitty-gritty. It is an attempt to answer the question asked by Socrates, how are we going to live? And the answer is, we are going to live by transforming ourselves. And I'm going to give you 3 different tools. Again, I will be using the word spiritual, faith, or religious interchangeably. 2, please make a note of questions. And if you're listening to this after the fact, shoot me an email. If you want afterwards, you can hang around on the Zoom and ask me questions. And 3, find me at rotb.org. Here are our 3 religious exercises. 1 on kindness, 1 on gratitude, and 1 on anger. Any one of these 3 exercises will increase your spiritual fitness. And they all require one tool, a singular tool that you already possessed, your mind. There are 2 quotes to start about your mind. One is attributed to Irving Becker. He said, if you dislike someone, the way they hold their spoon will offend you. But if you like them, they could drop a plate of food in your lap and you wouldn't mind. The idea is that most of what upsets us about others is in our mind. With some effort, we can adjust our vision of those annoying people. And it might not be easy, but folks, listen, if Nelson Mandela could forgive his captors, then you know it's possible for you to reimagine the people who annoy you. Quote 2, there's a Chinese aphorism that says, the birds of worry and fear will always encircle your head. About this, you have no choice. But whether they make a nest in your hair, over this you have power. And I lost my slide for that one. Let me try. There it is. The little birds of worry and fear will always encircle your head. Over this you have no choice. But whether they make a nest in your hair, over this you have power. You have the ability to fix some of your problems. You can have people be somewhat less annoying by tinkering with your mindset that maybe they're not as annoying as you think they are. Maybe you've just decided that the way they hold their spoon is awful because you don't like them. We can't quickly fix all of our problems, but we can keep the birds from making a nest in our hair. I want you to think of a singular problem, a problem you're facing, pandemic related or otherwise, something that's irking you a little or a lot. And think of that one problem. I will be giving 3 different prescriptions, one on kindness, one on gratitude, one on patience. And I want you to think, as I tell you them, which one of these 3 would be the most benefit to that one issue that you're dealing with. Tool number 1, kindness. Let's start with kindness. Lao Tzu said, kindness in words will bring us confidence. Kindness in thinking will bring us profundity. Kindness in giving gives us love. Kindness is very important, and we want to have a world filled with confidence, profundity, and love. Kindness is not so easy to always do. At 11 years old, my niece Ellery was very argumentative, and she still is some, but a little less so. At the time, I said to her, Ellery, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? And she said to me, Uncle Brian, I would rather be right because then I'm happy. A few days later, she came to me and she said, Uncle Brian, I realized I would rather be happy. Kindness can bring us confidence. It can bring us a world of profundity, and it can bring into our world love. There's a quote Dr. Phil once said, if someone asks you to dance, you don't have to say to them, I wouldn't dance with you if you're the last person on earth. You can simply say to them, no, thank you. I don't feel like dancing. The more kind we are, the less we'll have frustration, and the less frustration we'll have for ourselves and for others. The kinder we are, the better we'll sleep at night. And if we had to choose a place to be, I would rather be in a place with fewer complaints, with fewer judges, any place where people are kind. Here's a little exercise, just like the card that I have here. Take a piece of paper and make on it 5 circles, and then repeat this 5 times so you have 25 circles in groups of 5. Vertical or horizontal, it doesn't matter which. Now, over the course of the next 5 days, I want you to deliberately be kind. Have 5 moments of conscious kindness a day for 5 days. And every time you're kind, simply mark off one of those, 5 per day minimum. If you think this might help you with whatever problem it is that you're having, please try this exercise. Caveat, there are reasons not to be kind. If we are kind to people, we might have to lose the sense that we are right all the time, as my niece had already seen. If we are to be kind to people, it might mean that people might have a strange feeling about us, that somehow there's something mentally fragile about us because we're kind. I say be kind anyhow. Exercise 2 for you to think about, gratitude. Cicero said, gratitude is the greatest of all and the parent of all the other virtues. Gratitude is the greatest and the parent of all virtues. In fact, when you add some gratitude to your life, you find that you have less room for anxiety and despair. Let me explain an example which is slightly strange. I'd like you at this time to please pull out your phone, tablet, you can use your computer. Please do this right now. Take out your phone and open up to messaging app, whatever messaging app you use, and scroll to the bottom of your messages. Scroll 4 or 5 pages down, scroll down in your messaging app, and then randomly, bam, touch a button, hit somebody. Send that person a text message right this moment that says, I'm glad you're in my life. I see a whole bunch of you doing that right now. Thank you for doing that. Just push any one of those people. Don't think about it too much. Just send them a message that says, I'm glad you're in my life. Change the words, of course, as appropriate. What we're doing here is we're adding a little more gratitude into our world. As I mentioned before, gratitude is equal to thankfulness minus complaints. If you're done with that exercise, it's a terrible thing to tell people to take out their phones because it's very hard to get them to come back. Oh, it's a good thing I taught high school math for so long. I'm used to students. All right, pencils down, people. So we are going to play with gratitude. And my next, I had already told you that gratitude, your gratitude practice is equal to thankfulness minus complaints. And there are two variables here, and you're very smart people. You can see. You can either add in gratitude, as we just did, and then there's complaints. You're not going to like this one. I have a slide here, and it says simply on it, the 21-day no complaint challenge. Will Bowen, he designed this. It's called the 21-day no complaint challenge. And I think you're afraid that you already understand how this goes. You're supposed to go 21 days without complaining. Complaining about this assignment is probably a sign you should be doing it. This is hard to do. It took me 4 months till I went 21 straight days without a complaint, but it was worth it. It was worth it. I heard far fewer complaints every day since then. Note, the way I play the game, I count a complaint as something that comes out of my mouth, not something that I think in my head. I can't control my thoughts as easily. Adjust the rules as you deem fit. I want you to think back to that problem that we were playing with. You have the choice of trying the kindness attitude, and I'm going to ask you if perhaps not complaining should be the prescription for you. Not complaining doesn't mean not being critical and not bringing up important things in times of need. It's how you bring those things up. Let's try tool number 3. Tool number 3 is patience. The third tool for your faith life is the patience. There's an inverse relationship between patience and anger. For you math nerds, I put that up there. When you get angry, it's a lack of patience. And the more patience you have, the less anger. I spoke at the start about Aristotle, and that Aristotle said anyone can get angry. But to get angry at the right person, at the right time, the right amount, and for the right reason, this is not something to do. And you see the card that I have right here? Let me change to the next card. I'm going to change to the next card. Magic, next card. No, wait, go back a card. Oh, I don't have that card. Okay, wait a second. I didn't scan that one in. My bad. This card here. Make yourself a card that looks like this, that has the right person, the right time, the right amount, and the right reason. And I want you, every time, instead of getting angry, I want you to take out this card and think to yourself, I'm about to get angry. My children are doing something I don't like. Instead of reacting to them, I pull out this card and I think, is this the right person? Is this the right time? Is this the right amount? Is this the right reason? And the simple act of pulling this card out of my pocket will help. It's a cognitive behavioral little trick. It's what Viktor Frankl said when he said between stimulus and response there is a space. In this space there is the power to choose our response, and in our response lies our growth and our freedom. You can, if you pause for a moment before your habituated response of anger and wonder, is this the right person? Is this the right time? Is this the right amount? And is this the right reason? That piece of paper can derail the anger train from leaving the station. Tool number 3 is every time you start to get angry, take out this piece of paper. Now think about that one issue you had. Would it best be served by trying the kindness exercise? Would it be best served by trying the no complaint challenge? Would it best be served by trying this little exercise on anger? 25 moments of kindness, the 21-day no complaint challenge, or the anger card. I want you to commit for the next 5 days to try one of them. So my friends, that's it. Pick a tool, any tool, and allow yourselves to be transformed, to be kinder, to have fewer complaints, to dig down and cultivate patience. I'm going to put up one more slide here. If you would like to find out more, go to rotb.org, and I will send you, if you sign up for the newsletter in the next 2 days, it's a free newsletter. It's just give me a way of getting your email address. If you sign up, I will send you this transcript so you can have every single quote that I used in case you want that. Let me get rid of that slide now. And I'm going to end us with a prayer. As we are gathered here at this moment, realizing more than ever that the here where we are is not a singular here, but we are all here now. Now is the same, but the here is different. Let us all allow our lives to be transformed. Let us all see that our lives are not simply about us as individuals, but about us as a collective community. Let us all hope to live our life with a higher sense of value and purpose. Let us live our lives being more comfortable in surrender and in questions than we are in statements and in false senses of certainty. Let us continue this. May we all be so blessed. And I will say on behalf of all of us, amen.
Thank you, Rabbi. Many, many good lessons. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
As we are at the part of our service where we put our gratitude into action, and we add to the ability of the Unity Center to continue to do its work. For those of you who don't know, it's our 30th anniversary. And we are a spirit-led, co-creating a vibrant, inclusive ministry, welcoming and supporting everyone on his and her spiritual journey. So if you are moved, if you find value in the work that we're doing, in the messages that we're providing, in the supportive community of love that we are, please contribute at this point. On the screen, you'll see the specifics of where. And at this point, if you take out your offering in your mind, in your heart, I know that many of you contribute on an ongoing basis as intentional givers, but consider that your gift is a kind of a prayer. And together we say over these offerings, God's love in me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And Layla.
Yes.
Thank you.
Here's a song that you can join in with me from the comfort of your own homes, if you so desire. It's called I Think You're Wonderful. I think you're wonderful. When somebody says that to me, I feel wonderful, as wonderful can be. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. If we practice this phrase in the most honest way, find something special in someone each day, we'll lift up the world one heart at a time. It all starts by saying this one simple line. Everybody, I think you're wonderful. When somebody says that to me, how do you feel? I feel
so
wonderful. As wonderful can be. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. When each one of us feels important inside, loving and giving and glad we're alive. Oh, what a difference we'll make in each day. All because someone decided to say, you guessed it, I think you're wonderful. When somebody says that to me, how do you feel? I feel wonderful, as wonderful can be. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too, last time. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. Okay, jazz hands, we gotta do it. Too. I think you're wonderful, thank you.
That was great. And I didn't really take a full moment to thank you, Rabbi Brian, for a really terrific talk and showing us more that we can do with digital. You've put in a lot of effort and we really appreciate it. So I'd like to just, as we finish today, I'd like to thank everyone who participated. There's a lot that goes into creating our center, especially online. As always, our wonderful Sharon McGrath, who is our administrator, your board members, people who couldn't be with us today, but people who have put so much effort and heart into this center. So please reach out in kindness and invite your friends and family, and thank you everyone who's joined us this time. Please, we love that we can reach beyond our walls. This center was built as a center, as a church without walls. And so this is, in a way, takes us to that place again. So please invite people, check the website or your email. And if you're not on the email, join the email for the Zoom link. And you'll be able to view this and other services from the past month as well on Wesleyan Unity on YouTube. And if you have reason that you need personal prayer, we want to remind you of Unity, Silent Unity, www.silentunity.org. They are 24 hours, have always been for 130 years, available to each and all of us. So at this point, I'd like to have us blow out the candle that we always have lit. So I have one, you have one in your hearts. So we usually invite one of our youngest people. Marilee, are you there? So 1, 2, 3, blow out the candle. However, we know that the light never goes out. Why? Because we are the light. And so at this point, we'd like to sing. Layla's going to sing, and we're going to sing the peace song. Unmiked. We're still muted, rather. That's what I'm trying to get out my mouth. So ready?
Okay, here we go. Here's our first note. Let everyone sing that note together. Excellent. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With
joyous love. Take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally.
Like love in his heart, and let it begin with me.
My favorite part.
Okay, so we'll say the prayer of protection, prayer of transformation. And I think we'll just carry on with everybody's mics open. The light of
God is in us. The love of God
surrounds us.
Power of God.
Power of God.
And the presence of God
God.
is who we are.
Who we are.
Wherever we go,
Wherever we go,
God is.
God
And
is.
all is
All is well.
thank you.
But sometimes God has a lag.
There's definitely a technical lag, but there is no lag in God. So everybody, thank you very much. Good for laughter. Please come back next week. We love you. We're going to turn off the recording and
Dan,
stay here for a few minutes.
you might want to